and welcome back to another episode of Inside the House. My name is Jill. I'm the content creator and marketing strategist for Sandra Ranck Real Estate. In this episode of Inside the House, we're talking about something that's very special, very near and dear to our hearts, which is the Rail Yard Innovation District. In this episode, when we talk about the Rail Yard Innovation District, we're going to talk about the 22-acre lot or plot of land that's here along the Fox River, why it's significant, why it's important, why it's being developed, and how that all got started. I got to sit down and interview some of those key members, those innovators that are really pushing the envelope, restoring and revitalizing this 22-acre piece of land and bringing life back into this area of downtown. Now, we're also going to be talking about the first residential pieces and offerings that are in the Rail Yard Innovation District, which we're really excited about, and those are the Rail Yard condominiums. So you get a little sneak peek about the development of those, their construction and preparation for occupancy, which will be in June. I hope you enjoy a little sneak peek behind the scenes on this latest episode of Inside the House.
So, when we looked at why we undertook this project with the rail yard, it's a combination of success factors that we've seen around the country, right? We aren't always first to market in Northeast Wisconsin, but we can certainly see trends evolving. In winning components of successful trends are certainly urbanization, a move back to downtown, where we had left downtown a generation ago, and we abandoned it. Now that goes in a cycle, right? So folks are very eager to be part of a dense urban community. Breweries are winning. Breweries are popping up all over the place. Brewery districts. So proud to have Titletown Brewing as a partner, to be part of that amenity and vibe. Within a certain geographic area. The renovated historic buildings, the walkability, the trail connectivity, the bikeability, those are all success traits that we've seen evolve in Austin and Nashville and in Denver, and we have to scale to Green Bay, Wisconsin, right? We're going to be a very good Green Bay, Wisconsin. We aren't going to be any of those other communities overnight. We don't have the population base to do that, but we've been encouraged over and over again by our community showing up and embracing what we're doing, and we think that's attestation to why you want to be a part of the rail yard or live in the rail yard.
When we first opened Titletown Brewing Company, we were looking for a historic building somewhere in the Green Bay area, and obviously the downtown was where our sights were set. And we, at the time, we're looking at a couple different properties, but the depot was available. The railroad was still actually in it, but they just didn't need it anymore, so they were selling it through the city. And we looked at that building as a great opportunity to bring Green Bay's first brewery since 1967 back. 20 some years later, we expanded over here into the warehouses next door with some more brewing capacity. But I'm kind of a history buff, and this area was originally like probably where a lot of the original, Native Americans had their, villages along the river where they'd fish and whatnot. And then along came the French back in the late 1600s, and they built a fort here, which was followed by a British fort and then eventually an American fort. So historically, the land we're on is very old and full of history and years, and that's why we located in this area, and we're very happy we did. I think there's going to be a transformation. I think people are going to see opportunities in our neighborhood here and then in these near neighborhoods by fixing up houses and living downtown and walking to the farmer's market and walking to a grocery store, because there's enough people down here that now we got to build a grocery store. So I think it's that whole chicken and egg thing, and it's like I think the egg's been laid and now the chickens are coming. So that's what we're hoping things will happen down here, and we're glad to be part of it. The time is now right, and there's just a lot of exciting things happening. People are moving down here. They're building condos. Even the east side of the river, on the east side of the river, there's the downtown that's got new buildings going up, new businesses being built. And we need that. Green Bay needs that. And we're in a real competitive market, and we want to get it so that Green Bay attracts more people that want to live in Green Bay and stay in downtown Green Bay as well. There are still big ships that come in our harbor. We're one of just a few harbors in the state of Wisconsin, and we make things still here, and I think that's exciting. We have a professional football team in our city. I think that's exciting, and a team that you really can't explain, because by all rules it should not be here, but we're very fortunate. I think that goes to the kind of people that live in Green Bay, and we're kind of a can-do city, and we're nice, and it's just a great place to live.
Okay, so now we're post Walmart, and Titletown has invested in these buildings for their expansion of their brewery, as we've heard in this video already, and then further expanding out into this next building that we're currently in. And so at that point, that's when you decided you wanted to invest your own business downtown. Can you talk a little bit about that and
Yes.
brought you here?
So taking the leap for my own business to come downtown, personally, that was like jumping off a cliff, because it was a big investment financially. But I have to say, my biggest thing when I was like, it was the Press Gazette did an article, and Jim Rivet, God rest his soul, God love that man. He was trailblazer extraordinaire. He was on the front page of the Press Gazette, and he had just done this whole big office suite into the expansion of actually the building that I'm in right now. And I was like, I literally said, all the cool kids are downtown. I'm going downtown. And I had talked about it forever to go downtown, and I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm just gonna do it. So then it was, well, where am I gonna go downtown? So then I met with a couple people, but I met with Brent and Paul. And they explained, because I'm a big fact person, who are you? What are you about? Do I want to align myself with you? You have to be ethical and and all those things. So when I was talking to them, I was so blown out of the water by their vision for this 22 acres. My big attractions were this, that they got it. They got community. They got how to build a community. When they looked at this space, the question they asked themselves and their investors was, how do we help Green Bay? How do we build something here that people not only want to live and work and just have a great time, but how does that help our community? And then how do we help our neighbors immediately, like the NEW, the new community shelter? How do we bring them in? How are they a part of this? How does the housing look? They wanted to do all layers of housing, from the smallest to the biggest. So their awareness of that was amazing. And then secondly, to do it they did it the hard way. The easy way would be rip all this down and start all over. The hard way is to get the tax credit money. The hard way is to go into these buildings, and that's why you see all this beautiful brick, all this stuff that could never be recreated. Brent's love for what we have as a city and to not tear it down was amazing. And then Paul's support and brain to figure out financially, how do we do this? And then Josh, who was the executor, to be like, okay, this is how we're gonna build it. They are such a great team. I'm like, yep, this is it. And here I am. And not a day goes by and I don't come to this office and do a little jig. I love it.
Well, I hope you enjoyed a little inside peek, behind the scenes look at the Rail Yard Innovation District, all the great things that are happening here. Make sure you like them on Facebook and on Instagram. That is at the Rail Yard Innovation District. And I hope we see you on Wednesdays for the Farmers Market.